Assalamu alaikum baringol ngal konton Gambian Talents TV to ñinte mena dron mbale kane fi magistrate court le ko mal baje ka nyamen ten dron mol milan ko ye wala muta 26th of September milan ko fundita kata auditor general ka protesto ki jeto ko mal yala nyame ye mo nani muta jele milan ko wala Umar Sabu Kamarati ke mo fati Mamadou Kamara anin fana milan wala Aliou Bati bi kata fente mi alan ko yenati kiito bundato mi alan ko wala kane fi magistrate court pour kan ye charge andum komi ngaji nyame ye charge le already andum ila loya felenting mi alan ko one of la wala la
Yeah, it's fine. So how did the case went?
It's just mentioned today. The charges were read to the accused person, and they all pleaded not guilty. There are two charges: unlawful assembly and common nuisance. So they all pleaded not guilty to the two charges.
Okay. So, and then when we are in the hearing, we saw the officers, they stood up saying that when these people are billed, they should be with a condition of not to go out again to protest or something like that. We saw your team counter-attack it. The initial state, when they started mentioning, your team was laughing at the concept of it. How did you came to hear the police calling up for such an restriction to the citizens?
Well, that restriction that was proposed by the police is really not for them, it's for the magistrate. So the magistrate decided that that is her prerogative, and bail was granted, and that condition was not attached.
And the second one, there's someone who claimed he was just passing by and being arrested. Now he's also charged on the same offense with those that were there, you understand, to conduct their press briefing, or the law put it on them to unlawfully organizing a protest. What is the fate of that guy?
Well, like all the others, this is going to go through the court proceedings. The prosecution would give its evidence, it would call its witnesses, and he will have an opportunity when it is his time to talk to describe the conditions the court as he understands them. So that is an evidential matter. We have to wait for the proceedings. In fact, the question was whether he pleaded guilty or not. He should just have said not guilty. The reasons will come later during the trial.
So what did the court decide at the moment?
Well, the court granted them bail, and so that's it. They are all on bail.
At the tune of?
$50,000
each?
No, yes, each, with one Gambian surety. So one person has to deposit his or her ID card or Gambian passport. Yes, and of course the magistrate went on to say that failure of any of the accused persons to turn up would result in a possible forfeiture of the bail bond. That is, the authority would be called to the court and asked to explain why the bail should not be forfeited. That is why he should not pay the $50,000 there and then.
Now, as a legal consultant and a senior man for that matter, what advice would you have for the user out there watching that want to exercise their rights?
Well, I believe we'll talk with our clients. That is a private issue, and also it's a little complicated because of the constitutional rights attached to assembly and speech. So obviously, those are matters that we'll have to discuss. The legal team already reached a conclusion that we have to sit down and discuss those things. Yeah.
Counsel said there is nothing much. These guys were arraigned before and they are charged on 2 counts. That's unlawful assembly, section 63 of the Criminal Offences Act, and also section also on common nuisance. And when the charge sheet was read to them in the English language that they understand, they all pleaded not guilty. and prosecution, that's Commissioner Sane, led by the prosecution, actually said they are not opposing the bail of the accused person, but they want to attach condition for the court to accept that. And those conditions are that the court make sure that these people put a condition that they should not be found demonstrating again until the determination of this case. And our defense counsel said that he's dancing onto the territory of the courts because it's the court who has the jurisdiction or it's the court's discretion to grant bail and put condition there. It is not for the prosecution to recommend what the court should do. So the presiding magistrate agree on that with the submission of our defense counsel, Lamin Jedabo, that the prosecution cannot determine what will be the conditions of the bail and what will be the bail conditions. So they agree that these people will be granted, the crime is a bailable offense, and he grant them a bail of 50,000, that's one Gambian sortie, who will deposit his ID card before the courts. So these are the only conditions. So as for now, they are granted bail and we will fulfill their bail conditions. So on konga men for recommending account wala nyindi ko nyum funding ke nanol melalon ko mo saba wala ngala de kelindo nyi wo mo le de men ka bita kala moto wala kama ko ya arrest bari ye bele nan kiti bu nyati wala ye charge men na wala sid la fulati na loi la carola section 63 wala na criminal procedure court melalon ka to nyendir lal safono to nyendir lal bute ye charge wala ka antandila ko kada mo le melalon ko ka futa nyoma e ka fo men na lawful assembly ka futa nyoma e julado melalon ko loi man sembo de la inspector general fana man pabedi la e findita woto ye ka charge wala a fulan jaw nyin kan nan ko common news on wala mol melalon ko be yay kan sate ko no e be banko la kayro tinya kan en kudo ko ye charge wala fana so ka be nyin charge ori nyum fonni ke nanol nyale be man song wala nyale pleaded not guilty kan dandila ko 2 million mel letter getel balanta wala le man so ka be fo wado men na prosecution melalon ko commissioner sanel ba nyati wala o findita nan kan dande ko etelman balan pour nyum bu fonni ke wala bula belo kan bara kala fa court condition la belo kan kan dandila ko nyum fonni ke sike modi melalon ko ni e bula belo kan ete protest kala ko ke nyum banko kan fo janni nyin case be banna akala fa court condition la fa la bail condition nyinka barka ba fo na defense counsel la min jeda bo men ka prosecution lead ka waya dandila ko ate be donc kan court la luole tema o luonye mo court la luolde mi alan ko wala nyanda ke donje ka fa be kala nyame baraka munda de botata la terento la from prosecution kade dum court la magistrate la luo kono ka dandila ko court nyam wala nyanda ka decide fa be beldi la mola du na be beldi la be mun condition la attaque la je so kamala ko court kano entertain presiding magistrate mi alan ko ka fa ko sallam bay aissatou sallam bay o ya kan ndandi ko defense counsel e men ko wala mo toñade ka dandila prosecution kano determine court be beldi la nyaade la ne be mun condition la bail kan so ko kamala based on that he is going to grant them bail because ye tumi men is a bailable offense me alon ko luale sembodi ka andani ni moyo sifake nyanda ka bail so ay bail men wala nyito ko gambia kodo wule tallulu ni men mo sotono ni se ID card sotono fane se ID card nan kiti modo me alon ko mole bina be bail la be nyinta la ka andandi la ko debe kala mo me alon ko wado wade ni kiti obe keke nyanda ka findi kiti bu nyatal ka andandi la ko sinana sike modo me alon ko be daraja manna condition la faje me alon ko safo no ko so wala me fewti me alon ko be keren so sansa bela process la rek time we already have the ID card so we are waiting for the ruling once we have that Mbasamba register so that it is registered and they are going home as free people. Thank you.
Have maintained our stance in regards to the Auditor General being reinstated because from the onset of this case to date, it has never been the release of our fellow comrades. That has never been our main priority. Our main priority is to guide the Constitution so that we can stand in accordance with the rule of law and for the Gambian people. And that is what we are going to continue. As members of the press have already been notified, we did submit 3 permits to the office of the IGP yesterday. And today, we did not occupy the office of the National Audit, but we do have other 2 pending permits that are already at the desk of the Inspector General of Police. So we will do a follow-up in regards to that matter, because one thing that happens is when protesters come out demanding justice for things that are being meted on the Gambian people, the next thing that happens is they get arrested, and the attention of the Gambian people gets diverted to the release of these protesters instead of going for the bigger goal, which is justice for the Gambian people. Democracy thrives, the boys are released, at first, the bail bond was supposed to be subjected to them not taking part on any protest, which the magistrate debunked from the onset. So, as you already know, we are all here for equity and a justice pivotal society. And that's the Gambia that we are fighting for. And Gala is liaising to the Gambian people in regards to whatever the case may be. No, but you can. As far as I am concerned, I am not hearing any rumor of Gala and Gomza Boba. And what are the rumors that you've been hearing so that I can shed more light to it?
Like some of the concept of members went to the Araba Avenue to talk about some of these people that are.
Laminsi is part of Gomza Boba, and he is right here in front of the courts in solidarity of Gala. So I do not understand what this case that you people are talking about.
It's been going on.
As far as I am concerned, I see no rift between any movement because all the other movements out there are sister movements of Gala. Any movement that stands for equity and a justice pivotal society is a movement with Gala.
Have to understand, the state will do everything within their powers to make sure that they suppress and silence us. So at the movement level, we are not agreeing to that. Okay, it's a bill, it's a bill. What is it that we will go out and protest? Because what we are doing, it's not unlawful. It's a lawful thing that we are doing, you know. But it's good that we have a legal counsel that advises us on legal matters. So anything that has to do with the legal thing of the movement, we give it to the legal counsel for us to give us the proper advice concerning the thing that we want to move.
With regards to the reinstatement of the Auditor General, what's the stance of the movement?
So right now the movement stands, just like I said the last time, the Auditor General and the issue our lawyer is the Auditor General's lawyer. So there is not more that we can do at the movement level now because the matter is going to court. So the only thing that we can do is to make sure that we add pressure on the government to reinstate the Auditor General. Because, I mean, just like I said at the press conference, to remove the Auditor General from his office, it's more difficult than because there it can be a closed door. Yeah, you can it's a party militant soul or party agent soul dukuno, and you do that. But to Auditor General in our office using power, it's more difficult than stealing votes in elections. So we are going to continue our advocacy. We are going to call on the government and other relevant stakeholders, most especially the Ministry of Justice. Let him advise the president properly and let it be legally grounded. It is so disheartening that the justice minister himself has been compromised, because that is why all these nonsenses are happening around our constitution. They disregard the constitution, they do things on their own way. And we cannot continue to operate like that. So the state needs to be very much vigilant, and they must be on their toes. Let them follow the constitution because it is the guiding principle. That is why Gambia is not an anarchist state. We have laws in place, and those laws must be abided by. So the president must also abide by those laws.
Ala demand follow o mittal pour e bol bula bi adum fanan kanyi min kere Auditor General da bo kula la yala bo.
Yes.
So mosa kono gala 3-day protest ala min propose bo bay.
Was cancelled. Yes, but there are permits at the police that we wrote to yesterday. So we will keep on following, because part of the permit is it's either the boys are released, because we were planning to protest tomorrow again if the boys were not released, because tomorrow was going to be their 72 hours. So we were planning that. And on Friday, if the boys are released, or if they are not released, because yesterday, tomorrow could be, it's either they take them to mile 2 or they grant them bail. So if they do not grant them bail on Friday, we decided to, part of our demands was to lock down the country the whole day. Yeah, but now that the boys are released, we are going to re-strategize and come back stronger.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
kan pour ise no ila so kono nyamena ito lebe findi kan sa intendi kala olen Omar Saiboti an kala la news pass wa buba ko ya fo nyamin e fele bi findi kan nan Omar Saibo fele akira mo flote mum finti tan nan ibe no makan ila molbe no makan nan en Ismailo ani mo fengol mu yalon wala be kikan live kan fi magistrate court la bu narato e fele bi finti kan ngaje piya yul fele bi mol jibe kan bari hani kabin safuno kayrolom bawo ye bla belo kanne mbole kono sain ok mo fanan fela finti tan sain fanan fela finti tan sain ila supportal fele be support kan kemo bara kam to ko ala body language ay ten la ko me be batari ne bawo amantra active rimbake amantra blo wilindi kan so mu fengol timu yalom mbaje kanne abi hapun kanne live kan fi magistrate court la bu narato
Gala is doing. For now, I don't have a comment. Gala is an institution, and our spokesperson will give you the details.
kafo ñun to yala so ay wala foten 5 aning angale kan wala bari hani kabi ila member dol fele bi dunka moto kono bi dunka moto kono bari jigita ko kata national youth council national youth parliamentary le e kata jel to wolon kala la bumbati damin bi kani finjang mbala jang man jang fajela so amu fengol dimu yalam wala be hapun kal life thing e fele dunta moto kono 5 baje kan nyamin buba keta fengol timu yalam sa fele bula e dunde la moto kono e kata national youth parliament le bam bawo ya fo wala nyama ko kata jelto jikita le commune na kita nyawnya be badin jiberal wala badin la moyla be kalamutan la ko bita ka nyawnya jikita ko be normal le national youth parliament le ka jibe commune kumol mun be da wala commune fengo fen face nyintili dantango e mun ke jana isa kumo nyin fono molye badin la moyla isa long mun be keri wala mun kete la ko banto so mu fengol timu yala ko mayata bakele
mbokay comme ni ngeen ko gisee rek am ñoo xam ne ñoom lañ téye woon fii nii si protest bu ñu gaay doon def si audit office bi te nag ñu ngi nii bàyyi nañ leen si bail si fii nii kan fi magistrate court waaye ñu ngi nii nag di dem moo xam ne fi nga xamante ne mooy am national am youth parliament bi foofu la ñoo jëm am right now
walam Saiboti afanan fele abi instructional di kala molla comme ngal baje kan nyamin abi instructional di kala molla ya yul hani kabi ibi lorin bunda dato buba ngaje la hani kabi ya yul bi
for standing with us. We have been granted bail through the court, and for now, we are going to meet and we will address the public. But what I can say, when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes a duty.
Thank you. Your map, sir.
We want everybody to disperse, and we will go back as a group and then come to address the media on these issues that is happening. But for the people out there, we should be united today more than ever. Our strength is in the unity and in the force we will present to the Gambian people and to the world. And if there is anything to do, is to continue fighting to change this country. If there is anything to do, is to continue to fight for injustice, impunity, and corruption. Because corruption kills society, and if society is dead, none of us will be here today. And then if we go out on the streets, it's not because we just love ourselves, but because we love this country. Then no country change on social media or sitting on our beds and saying, do not go on the streets, right? So we will address the media officially through a press conference. But for now, this is what I can say. If my colleagues have anything to add, they could.
So the point of this whole thing is, how do we liberate this country from this corrupt, heartless regime that has risen from amongst us? In 2016, on the 1st of December, when Barrow came to power, It was to be the dawn of a new country, a new society, and a new reality for this country. And I've not seen anything substantial or quality. So this is the beginning of a struggle that will either end or the state can decide what they will do with us. But the one thing that the wealth of the Gambian people. No.
You know, I want to urge everyone in the country to, as much as possible, this country belongs to all of us, both government and the citizens, who are working together in unison and harmony. That will lead us to the progress that we all desire. As the government and us as the people, we must stand together, you know, with one voice, and always make sure that we defend what is just. It mustn't be for our own selfish interests. These have been enshrined in the national pledge. And let us always try to remember that we swore an oath to office. And when we swore that, we must protect that. You know, the Auditor General does not deserve to be removed from the office that way, in an unconstitutional way. And that is why we stood against it. So for that reason, you know, we think that, you know, it is best that we remain calm. And then as young people, Gala is an institution that is here to stay. I would have suggested that Gala even becomes the Bureau for Government Efficiency, ensuring that it is citizens powered, you know, making sure that even the National Assembly has a budget line to help these young people to hold our institutions to account in the most professional way. That way, we can get the Gambia that we want. We don't want violence, we don't want war, we don't want anything here to happen. Our families live here, we all know each other here. You know, when a police looks at me at point blank and fires a rubber bullet at me, it makes me sad. Is it that our institutions are not trained, or is it that it's just an anger that is played upon us for simply trying to stand up? I leave that reflection to all of you, the citizenry. Let's work together.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's on it.
It's on.
Yeah. Go, move.
Try it down, so it's not going to move. Play the picture.